Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about the visitor management. Visitor management involves controlling the type of visitors that are allowed into a tourist destination. Visitor management is defined as an administrative action oriented toward maintaining the quality of tourism resources. There are nine principles of visitor management. First, appropriateness of the management techniques for the objectives to be attained. And second, desirability to maintain diversity in resource and social conditions in tourist areas. And the third one, need to control human-induced change. And four, the inevitability of impacts on resource and social conditions due to tourism. The fifth one, temporary and spatially discontinuous nature of impacts. The sixth one, and the multiplicity of variables that influence the use-impact relationship. And number seven, management problems are not always due to the number of uses. Number eight, limiting use is only one of many management options. And lastly, need to separate technical decisions from value judgments. Next, the potential impacts of visitors in a tourism site. Visitor can impact a tourism site in two ways. The first one is simply by their presence, and the second one and by what they do. Simply being in a tourism site can affect the site. Large numbers of tourists can produce a feeling of crowding, noise, and traffic congestion. Visitors can also negatively affect destinations through their irresponsible behavior. This includes actions such as not following local laws, etiquette, and religious protocols. For example, some tourists may ignore traffic lights or don't walk signs, or jump lines when purchasing tickets or ordering food. Some talk loudly in commuter trains and buses. Through their ignorance, many tourists enter churches and temples to take photos, even stepping on an altar. And worse, many tourists smuggle banned substances into a country, consume prohibited drugs, and patronize prostitution. Some eat food from unsustainable sources or buy souvenirs made of parts of engaged animals. Some tourists also trash their rented rooms or vandalize property. And next is visitor management techniques. Visitor management techniques can be grouped into two general categories, which are the hard and soft, by Mason 2005. Hard approaches emphasize physical, regulatory, and economic management. Visitor management practices aim to limit visitor use. A reservation system enables potential visitors to reserve a space or obtain a permit ahead of their visit. A lottery allocates for opportunities of permits on a random basis. Practice excludes people who cannot or are unwilling to pay. Pricing mechanism may be by differential pricing for locals and outside visitors. Rules and regulation enable a tourist site management to control group size, travel itineraries, access to an area, the length of stay in the site, and the kind of activities that visitors could engage in, by Leong et al. 2014. However, infrastructure could also be built to spread the economic benefits of tourism. Some examples are Busuanga Airport in Coron, Sayac Airport in Siargao, and Laguindingan Airport, which made northern Mindanao more accessible from other parts of the country and the world. Another way to limit numbers is by assigning a maximum group size for every available tour guide. Extraordinary measures may also be imposed during crises. For example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, the Philippine government required travelers to present negative swab test results, obtain travel passes, and be quarantined for several days in limited capacity quarantine facilities, including accredited hotels, before being allowed to carry out their activities. Another regulatory instrument is zoning, which involves the determination of areas for specific activities so that conflicting use could be avoided. Zoning is defined by the DNR Biodiversity Management Bureau 2018 as the process of allocating geographical areas based on certain criteria to prescribed standards, specific conservation measures, actions, and allowable uses to serve as a guide of achieve the objectives of establishing and managing a particular protected area. Land use zones can be found in a local government unit's CLAP, where a map indicates areas designated for commercial use, residence areas, forests, and or recreational use. The CLAP may also include protected areas. A protected area is defined by the NEPAS Act of 1992 as identified portions of land or water set aside because of their unique physical and biological significance. According to the DNR BMB 2018, a protected area could be divided into either a strict protection zone or multiple use zones. Strict protection zones includes areas with high biodiversity values, areas prone to geohazard, areas set as permanent danger zones, and those close to human activities except for research. Areas that are habitats of endangered species and degraded areas that have been designated for restoration and eventual protection are also included in this classification. A strict protection zone may also contain easements of inland water bodies like lakes, rivers, and creeks. Multiple use zones are areas identified for settlement, traditional, and sustainable land use such as agriculture, agroforestry, and other livelihood activities. This zone could also be used for ecotourism, recreation, installation, or structures, or facilities of national significance, renewable energy projects, telecommunication, electric power generation, and the like. The multiple use zones could be subdivided into subzones. Needless to say, only ecotourism could be allowed in the multiple use zone of a protected area. As such, only low volume, low impact activities could be carried out. So that's all for today's video and the continuation of this report. Please watch the video of Kenneth J. Liata. And that's all. Thank you for watching.